Hi Skies community and welcome back. So today our practice will be a gentle flow where we'll be moving at a slower pace just to help you tune inward to practice some more mindfulness and awareness and also moving from a place of intention. So this practice can be very helpful if you need time to process or sit with your feelings if you may be going through some things. So I hope this practice serves you and grab anything that you need to support you as well as we go along this sequence, and I will see you on the mat shortly. When you're ready, we'll come down to our mat to begin our practice, and we'll start off in our easy seated pose with the legs crossed, or if you need to take another posture that feels more comfortable in your body, you can do that as well. So once again, just knowing that these are options and that there are no have-tos during your practice of yoga. So go ahead and get your props if you want to place pillows under your bottom, under your knees, or some blankets or towels. You can go ahead and do that. Taking your time as we begin to always come back to our breath. So take the opportunity once you're ready to close your eyes or soften the gaze down towards the mat. And taking this moment to allow your breath to slow down. So in our practice of moving with more ease and being more gentle with our body, not forcing the breath, so applying it here. And also not forcing the thoughts in your mind as you just allow them to come through, just like a cloud, and then allow them to float along. And while breathing, bring awareness to your shoulders as you relax them away from your ears. Feeling your bottom on your mat. Grounding yourself a little bit more as you draw the knees down towards the earth. And allowing some of the stress to release on every exhale that you take. And we'll slowly come into our 3-part breath by inhaling for 3 and exhaling for 3. Knowing that if this is uncomfortable, you can just breathe normally. So on the inhale, we'll begin by breathing in through the nose for 1, 2, 3. Exhale out of the mouth for 1, 2, 3. Inhale through the nose for 1, 2, 3. Exhale out of the mouth for 1, 2, 3. Inhale through the nose for 1, 2, 3. Exhale out of the mouth for 1, 2, 3. And then take your final round on your own. And after you exhale, release. Begin to come back to the present as you open the eyes or bring the gaze back up. And we'll reach the arms up overhead, taking our time. Palms connect at the top. And exhale, forward fold. Still hinging at the hips. Still rooting your bottom down towards the mat as you draw the belly down towards the ground. So releasing some tension from our lower back. And on the next exhale, staying low to the ground, walk the palms over to the right side of your mat Your left palm might come on top of your right. And if you need to, you can place your palms on blocks as well if you need some additional support in your fold. On the next inhale, slowly walk the palms back to center. Maybe reach a little bit further if that feels comfortable in your body, or just stay where you are. And exhale, slowly walk the palms over to the left side of your mat this time. The right palm can come on top of the left, or maybe you place your palms on top of blocks again for some additional support. Inhale, slowly walk the palms back to center in your forward fold. And on the inhale, slowly walk the palms back towards the body. Reach the arms up overhead. Palms can connect at the top. And as always, think of one thing that you're grateful for. Leading from a place of gratitude to begin our practice. And exhale, lower the palms down to heart center. And release them down to your mat. And we'll come into our tabletop position. So if you need to pad your knees with a blanket or a pillow, you can do that as well. And we'll come into our tabletop, establishing our base and foundation by keeping the palms nice and wide, our shoulders over our wrists, and our hip joint over our knees. Toes can be tucked to relieve pressure off of your kneecap as you push the earth away from you here and draw the navel in, engaging your core. So staying nice and stable in the hips will lower the forearms to the mat for our modified Sphinx. Palms are still wide, hips are still stable, and draw the belly in. Gaze coming towards the top of your mat here. Relax the shoulders away from the ears to broaden your chest. Come back to your breath. And on the next exhale, we'll slowly lower down. Keep the forearms where they are, coming into our full Sphinx pose. So untuck the toes and draw the belly in as you engage your glutes to protect your lower back. Draw the chin slightly in, find length in your spine here. And draw the shoulders back away from the ears. So this is a great pose to help us with our movements throughout the day, and a great pose to counteract the hunching that we might do over our computer when we're texting on the phone. So a great way to open up our heart space. And on the exhale, we'll lower the forehead down to the forearms, coming into our crocodile pose. So releasing here. And on the inhale, we'll lift the legs up off of the mat. So turning the toes down towards your mat as you internally rotate your thighs, engage your glutes here. Exhale, lower the legs down. Inhale, lift the legs back up. The legs don't have to go up too high. Exhale, lower the legs back down. This time on the inhale, we'll lift the chest up. Feet can stay on the mat. And exhale, lower the forehead back down to the mat. Inhale, lift the forehead back up. Push the ground away from you. And exhale, lower the forehead. This time we'll lift the legs up. And if it feels comfortable, lift the forehead off of the mat as you hold here. Engage your belly. Exhale, lower forehead and legs down. Let it go. One more time, lift the legs up, toes pointing down. Lift the forehead up as you push the ground away from you. Elevate a little bit higher. And lower everything down to your mat. Release. On the next inhale, forehead comes to the mat as the palms frame the chest. Palms are wide as you tuck the toes under. Lift the chest, baby cobra. So it doesn't have to be high. Being gentle with your body here in our back bend. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, we'll push up to our plank. And exhale, we'll shift the hips back into our down dog. Exhale, release. Palms are still wide as you draw the belly towards your thighs. Gaze coming in between the feet. Breathe here. If you need to, you can walk the feet out. Maybe you rock the hips from side to side. Coming onto the toes, rounding the spine to stretch the feet. So take any movement here in our first down dog today. And on the next exhale, slowly walk the palms closer towards the feet. And you may widen the feet as wide as your mat. So on the exhale, we'll bring the left palm towards the right leg and gazing under the right arm. So not forcing the twist here with your left palm. And exhale, release the left palm back towards your mat. Inhale, this time bring the right palm towards the left leg and gaze underneath your left arm for your twist. Exhale, release the right palm down. Slight bend in the knees as we walk the palms back towards our feet. Straighten the legs or keep a soft bend in the knees. Forward fold. Inhale, palms come to the shins as we halfway lift, lifting up with the flat spine. Exhale, release, lower down. Ground into the feet and slowly come to rise. Take your time as we slowly come up to standing. Soft bend in the knees if you need it. Now reach the arms up overhead. Bring them down to heart center and by the sides. Then you need to walk the feet in slightly, coming into your mountain pose. So staying nice and tall, ground into the feet as the chest shines forward. Inhale, sweep the arms back up overhead. And exhale, right palm comes to the right leg. Side bend over to the right, left arm in line with your left ear. Bring the left shoulder back to open the chest. Once again, being gentle with our body. It doesn't matter how far you go over towards the side. Exhale, release left palm down to left thigh. Right arm in line with right ear for your side bend. Keeping the hips level towards the top of your mat. Inhale, reach the arms back up. Palms connect at the top. Exhale, bring the palms forward and draw them back. So taking our arm circles. So it doesn't matter how big or small they may be. So just creating some movement and mobility in our shoulder joint. And when you're ready, reverse the circle in the opposite direction. Inhale as you bring the palms forward. Exhale as you bring the arms back. And on our next inhale, reach the palms back up. And exhale, begin to hinge forward or flex at the hips for your forward fold. On the inhale, widen the feet again as wide as your mat. And soft bend in the knees. We'll bend the knees and then straighten the legs. Left palm stays on your mat. Reach the right arm up towards the sky, twisting from your spine. And right arm comes up. Exhale, release the right palm down. Bend the knees. Slightly exhale, push the ground away from you. And reach the left arm up towards the sky. You can still keep a soft bend in the knees if you need to. Exhale, release. Left palm down, bend the knees, and straighten the legs. On the next inhale, we'll all bend the knees, walk the palms out, and come back into your downward facing dog. Really ground into the feet. Maybe see how this downward facing dog feels now. Inhale. Root your right foot down into your mat and extend the left leg back, pointing the toes down for your three-legged dog. So inwardly rotate the thigh down towards your mat Exhale, draw the left knee in towards the belly. Hold for a second. And then step the left foot down to your mat, coming into your lunge. So if you have blocks, you can use your blocks here. And you don't have to have them in your lunge. Exhale, gently lower the right knee down to your mat, patting it if you need to. And begin to straighten the left leg coming into our half split. Bring your blocks with you if you have them. You can also place your palms on the hips if that feels better. Then bring them all the way down to your mat as you draw the belly down towards that left thigh. Place your right palm on your right hip and slightly bring the right hip forward to square off your hips here for your alignment. Exhale, breathing and letting go. And know that you can always keep a soft bend in that left knee if you need to. Inhale, slowly walk the palms back towards the top of your mat. Ground into the left foot. Lift the right leg up, coming back into your lunge. Exhale, palms connect to your mat. Step the left leg back to meet the right for your plank or lower the knees, modified plank. Exhale, we'll all lower down to our belly. Coming down, bend the elbows, palms by the sides, lift the chest up, warrior cobra. Exhale, release back down. Inhale, press yourself back up to your plank or modified plank. And exhale, release, downward facing dog. Inhale, soft bend in the knees. Walk the palms back towards your body for your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, palms come to the shins, push the ground away from you. Exhale, lower back in. Inhale, come to rising, take your time. Reach the arms back up overhead. And exhale, bring the palms back to heart center. Inhale again, take your time. Reach the arms back up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Soft bend in the knees and walk the palms forward. Come back into your downward facing dog. Inhale, ground into the left foot. And on the exhale, extend the right leg back. Point the toes down for your three-legged dog. Exhale, draw the right knee to the nose. Hold for a second. And step the foot forward. Take your time. Coming into our lunge. Exhale, lower the left knee down. You can pat that knee if you need to. And walk the palms back in your half split. Place the palms on your blocks if you have them. Maybe on your hips to create more space within the chest as you draw the belly down. Flex that right foot as we stretch the back of our legs, our hamstrings. You bring the left palm to the left hip and slightly shift it forward towards the top of your mat. Exhale, slowly bend into that right knee, moving with ease, being gentle as you lift the left leg up. Coming back into your lunge, draw the belly in and step the right foot back. Take your time to meet your left in your plank or modified plank by lowering the knees. Exhale, bend the elbows, come down to your belly, chin, chest meet the mat. Palms are rooted and lift up into your cobra. On the exhale, we'll lower the belly back down. And inhale, we'll push ourselves up into a plank. Exhale, lower down to or shift the hips back, downward facing dog. Exhale, release here. Inhale, lower the knees down to your mat and draw the big toes together as you send the hips back into your child's pose. Lower the forehead down to the mat. If the hips don't go all the way back, you can place a pillow or a blanket underneath your hips. So just placing it here and coming back down for some more support. And you can also come into that modified Sphinx as well if the hips don't go all the way down. So once again, moving from a place of compassion and non-judgment, non-harm towards yourself. And on the inhale, slowly round the spine back up. Come back into your tabletop. And we'll lower down to our bottom. Take your time coming into our pigeon pose. And I'll show a variation for pigeon pose, which I actually really enjoy, that I do a lot, which is deer pose. So our deer pose can be a nice variation if pigeon pose can cause too much tension on your knees. And also if your hips might be tight, this is a great way to still have the same effect as a pigeon pose. So we'll bring the left foot in towards our groin, and our right shin will be parallel with the long edge of our mat, flexing our right foot. You can place a pillow or block. I'll use a block, placing it under your left hip if your hip comes off of the mat. And we'll begin to reach the arms out in front of us, palms are wide. Lift the chest up and then lower the belly down towards your mat. Your head can come to your forearms or a pillow or block or blanket and release. So that's a variation for our pigeon, which is deer pose. And if you want to come into a full pigeon, just extend the right leg back, turn the knee down towards your mat, and I like to pad my knee to take some tension off of it as well. Lifting upright for a second, and then releasing down towards your mat. So take whatever posture feels good in your body. As you release, letting go. And on the next exhale, slowly come up. Lift your chest back up to the sky. And we'll slowly come out of your pigeon or deer. And we'll come into our easy seated pose and take a cat-cow. Palms by the shins. And inhale, bring the chest forward for your cat. Or for your cow, excuse me. And exhale, round the spine for your cat. Inhale, bring the chest forward. And exhale, round the spine for your cat. Come back to your neutral spine, and we'll take it over to the opposite side. So either coming into your deer pose by bringing the left shin parallel with the long edge of your mat, flex your left foot. Or if you want the full pigeon, bring your left leg back behind you. And remember, you can place a pillow or blanket underneath your hips as well. And our right foot is coming in towards our left groin. And on the inhale, wherever you are, we'll lift up out of the chest and lower down to your mat. So I will take the deer pose this time. Releasing the tension out of your hips. And on the next inhale, slowly lift back up. And we'll slowly come back down to our bottom. Bring the legs forward. And we'll come into, this time, our butterfly pose. I bring the soles of the feet together. The knees go out wide. You can place a pillow underneath your knees or a block as well for some support underneath your knees. Palms wrap around the feet as you shine the chest forward. And exhale, begin to hinge slightly from the hips. So you might not go far, and that's okay. But just not forcing it as you maintain length within your spine. Connecting back to your breathing. And on the inhale, slowly bring the knees back in and come down to your mat, however it feels comfortable, however you need to get there. Not judging that either as you lower down slowly to your mat. Walk the feet in towards the fingertips and lift the knees off of your mat. Wrap the arms around the shins or maybe on the behind the thighs as you rock from side to side. And on the exhale, our arms can come out into a T or into goalpost arms as you bring the knees over to the left side of your mat in our reclined twist. Your neck can go to the right or to the left or up towards the sky, whatever feels good in your body. On the next inhale, draw the knees back in. Use your core, your obliques to bring them back up. And exhale, take them over to the left side. So you may need to shift yourself a little bit. And you can also place a pillow under the knees if you need to. Inhale, slowly bring the knees back to center, taking your time, and we'll draw the knees back in towards the chest. And either keep your head on your mat or lift it back up, holding, coming into a ball. Sealing your practice. And exhale, lower the head and neck gently back down. Release the feet back down. Come into your final resting pose. So that can look different in all of our bodies. So if you want to move to a chair or lie down, lie on your bed or sofa, you can extend the legs out in front of you. Maybe you take a reclined butterfly, bring the soles of the feet together, knees go out wide. Maybe you bring the soles of the feet to your mat with the knees pointed up, arms by the side. Maybe you roll over to one side, and you can bring any blankets or pillows to support you as well. So find whatever you need, taking your time. As you release wherever you are. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. Relax the feet. Relaxing the wrists and the fingertips. And releasing any tension from the backs of the legs. Maybe moving your jaw to release tension. Softening the belly and the forehead. Letting everything go. And reminding yourself that even within a fast-paced environment, you can implement moments of rest and simplicity to help us move from a place of ease and gentleness. So holding on to that as you take a few minutes in your final resting pose. So when you're ready, we'll slowly come back to the present moment, bringing some awareness back into the body and taking some movements that feel good. Maybe rocking the neck gently from side to side, rotating the wrists, maybe flexing the feet back and forth. And you can either stay where you are, or if you're lying down, coming over to one side and coming slowly back up into a comfortable position. Bring the palms to heart center, or if you like, by your sides, as we conclude our practice with 3 rounds of cleansing breath as a union, as a community, by slowly inhaling through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth, release. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth. And this final time on your own. And as always, I would like to thank you again for joining me on the mat. I hope that this practice served you and that you can move with a little bit more compassion, with a little bit more ease towards yourself and also towards others. So thank you again. And as always, namaste.